Alright, this is a video on integers. Okay, I think that we're thinking about this way too difficultly. Okay, so let's just try to kind of work it out together. And I think after this video, maybe it become a little more clear. Okay, so we have basic operations like addition, right? Two numbers like this, and we have subtraction, right? We're used to that. Like 8 plus 8 is just 16, right? We're just adding two positive numbers, and then when we subtract, we just subtract, 17 from 6, right? Because 17 is bigger. So what's 17 minus 6? Well, it's going to be 11, right? 7 minus 6 is 1, right? So we have 11. Okay, but now what happens if we work with negative numbers and positive numbers? All right, this is a general rule that you want to follow. Look at the signs. Just look at the signs. So even though this is addition, this is an operation, just pretend like this is like a sign, like positive and negative. Okay. Now, even though if we're doing subtraction or addition, if you can look at the sign and tell like if they're different, then this will tell you which one to do, addition or subtraction. Okay, so whenever you have an opposite signs like this, so here we have a -3, here let's just say it's +2, right? Then what we're going to do is we're going to subtract the two numbers. So anytime you have any like opposite signs like this, like negative or positive, okay, we're just going to subtract the two numbers. Doesn't even matter which order, but usually we like to subtract the bigger number, subtract the bigger number to the smaller number, right? So what's 3? What's 3 minus 2? 3 minus 2 is just 1, right? Now the thing you have to be careful here is you have to know which, is it going to be positive or negative, right? And the way you can tell that is that look at the bigger number. Is 3 bigger or 2? 3 is bigger, right? Look at the sign in front of it. Well, the sign in front of it is a negative, right? So that means the answer is going to be negative. So, again, if you have opposite signs like this, negative and a positive, you just subtract the two numbers, and then you look at the bigger number and see what sign you have in front of it, which is a negative. So you bring that negative right there. Okay. What if you have -3 plus 7? Again, let's look at the signs. They're opposite, right? So that means that we're going to have to subtract these two numbers. So even if it's -3 plus 7, we can just subtract 7 from 3. What's 7 minus 3? Well, 7 minus 3 is 4. Now the question is it going to be a positive or negative? Again, look at the bigger number. 7 is bigger than 3, and look at the sign that's in front of it. It's a positive, so it's just going to be a +4, so we just leave it like that. Or another way of looking at -3 plus 7 is 7 minus 3, which is just 4, right? But if you don't want to switch around stuff, just look at the signs. If they're opposite, we subtract the two numbers, and then look at the bigger number and see what sign you have in front of it. Then that'll determine the sign of the answer. Okay, there's one final situation that you can have. And this one we've been talking about before. What if you have -5 minus 7? Okay, over here, let's look at the signs. The signs are the same. So whenever we have the same sign, we're going to add the two numbers. But this is different than like just saying 5 plus 7, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to add the two numbers and then put a negative in front. And anytime you have this problem where you have a negative and a negative like this, you always add the number and put a negative in front, no matter what. It never changes from now to the end of the world, okay? So, since we have two negatives right here, all right, we're going to add the two numbers. 5 plus 7 is 12. And then we just put a negative sign in front. All right? Let's do a couple of problems. What if we had -4 plus 2? Okay, let's first look at the signs. We have a negative and a positive. That means that we're going to subtract these two numbers, okay? So what's 4 minus 2? 4 minus 2 is 2, okay? All right, now let's look at the bigger number. 4 is bigger than 2, all right? So what sign do we have in front of 4? We have a negative. So we put a negative in front. All right, what about negative 7 minus 9? Well, let's look at the signs. We have the same sign, right? Negative and a negative. That means that we're going to add these two numbers, okay? Okay, so 7 plus 9 is 16, but because it's a negative and negative, we're going to put a negative right in front of 16, okay? What if you add negative 4 plus 9? Again, look at the signs. We have negative and a positive, so they're opposite signs, so that means we have to subtract these two numbers. Okay, so what's 9 minus 4? Well, 9 minus 4 is 5, okay? Now, is it going to be positive or negative? So look at the bigger number, and then look at the sign. It's a positive, so that means that this answer is positive. Alright, let's do one more. What is 8 plus 9? Well, that's just 17, right? 8 plus 9 is 17. But look, we're going to use the same concepts, okay? We have 8 is also like positive 8, okay? So let's compare the signs. We have positive and positive. That means we have the same signs. We're going to add the two numbers. And because they're just all positive, we're just going to be 17. So when you look at like negative and negative right here, negative 7 minus 9, you just add the two numbers and just put a negative in front. In the 16 like that.